Alrighty. Music down. Microphone up. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Richard Quiner, your host. Today we are back with the RPG Daily, continuing our March challenge of writing an RPG adventure in the month of March. Today is the 9th of March, which means we have 22 more days to get this thing written, playtested, and formatted and published. So it is not going to be an easy task. And today we have a really big project for the story and making the story work. We have a lot of things to decide. We have a lot of stuff to come up with and a little bit of simple, basic kind of artwork we got to do. Basic as in it's more just design. But without further ado, or a little bit more ado, let's get into covering up the mystery in our adventure. Yeah, so today we're talking about the mystery. We're talking about figuring some things out, and I have a lot of changes that have been made to the story since the last time we kind of gathered, so to speak. So, need some music going. We're going to talk about some of the changes that I've made and some of the big things that happened over the weekend. Looking at our homework, I can show you here. Here's our homework page here. I will zoom in to make it visible. I had the dungeon that I wrote up here. It's still here, still good. Nothing wrong with the dungeon. But I had the thing to write out the skills challenge and explain it for the DM. That is taking me a little more time because I have to figure that out as well. And I have to learn more about skills challenges. I like them. I ran it like once, but I didn't dive deep into skills challenges. Rice Combo, welcome back, man. Good to see you. Happy Monday. I will apologize for the audio. There are some construction workers outside my apartment, and they are using power tools and stuff today. A bunch of jerks. Continuing down, so I did not do the skills challenge explanation. I did not flesh out the optional side quest because that's actually going to come up today a little bit more. And then I did finish filling out the Brewbuck legendary actions, which I can actually show you the stuff I came up with for pretty simple, low-level legendary actions. I just liked the idea of throwing a creature with low-level, like a low-level creature but with legendary actions. Just seems nice. It seems fun to me. And it'll give the DMs a little something extra they can do. But in this case, I had Cold Grip. I play off his name Gold Grip, and he gets to cast Chill Touch for free as a legendary action. Chill Touch being a cantrip that he has. He gets to make one melee attack with his pickaxe, and I gave him Supernatural Resistance, which is just like legendary resistance. He just gets to choose to succeed a saving throw if he fails one. And he gets 3 of those. The idea, just, get the new players knowing about these things early on, I think is kind of cool, and getting new DMs used to dealing with legendary actions early on, I think is also a good thing. He still has all his other Duergar resistance and magic and spellcasting and all this stuff, so he's pretty beefy right now. I need to finish filling out his description a little better here, or I'll just save that for actually being in the book, because this is not going to be shared too much elsewhere. So I did his legendary actions. That was accomplished. Yay for me. Today we're actually fleshing out the Donar Son region, and we'll talk about that. I tried scheduling a playtest for tomorrow. No one wanted to play. I think I just waited too long and no one's available. But I do have some people interested in playing. They just couldn't do it on Tuesday, so I have to figure out another day. It's okay. Not a big deal. I wrote a bit of a background, which is going to need some revisions. It's a first draft kind of story about Donar Son and what happened and how they get there. And then I made myself the homework, and this is the big change. I'm removing my first chapter entirely from the adventure. So if I were to pull up the outline, and if we just recap briefly, I had a chapter 1 that was just an introduction to Crag's Breach and the people there and the party getting the mission. And I feel like now for a one-shot, it's probably smarter to just tell the party why they are where they are, leave out the NPCs giving the mission, and just take out that whole section. I think I could save easily a half an hour to an hour off of actual gameplay time if I skip all that and work in some of the characters like Edness, Goldgrip, the niece of Brewbuck, and the chap Brando, the guide. I could just include into the main part of the story of Donar San, which would be you would use the adventure hooks to get the party there, and then they're in the area where all the adventure's happening already, and they don't have to do a lot of traveling. And then, they find the dungeon, then they have their dungeon crawl, and then they move on. Wow, those workers are really loud. I hear them through the headphones, which I thought these were supposed to be like noise canceling or sound resistant. I don't know. Yeah, so that's happening. I'm just taking out this entire Trouble in Crag's Breach. I'm leaving it here, but I'm actually just going to highlight it and say remove that, so I know that it's gone. And then I'll work in those things into the main part of the story. But then I still include the dungeon crawl, the 5-room dungeon crawl we made last week, and the end final fight with Brewbuck, followed by the skill challenge to escape the collapsing dungeon. All good things, I believe. So yeah, that's kind of the update on my weekend. It was not, I'll be honest, it wasn't the most productive weekend because of the coronavirus. I'm in LA proper, so we went to the nearest Costco to try and get, some toilet paper and some paper towels, just things that we might need in case they do say everyone's quarantined, which I really don't think they will. But everyone in this town has gone insane, and so we actually got there about 10 minutes after they sold out of their cheapest toilet papers. And then we realized, online stores are still selling these things. So just because they aren't in stores, we can buy stuff online. So we ordered like a 36-pack of toilet paper and a bunch of paper towels, and I was able to fill up my car with gas. That was just a regular chore. But then I ended up just spending the weekend with my girlfriend doing, relationship stuff, talking about wedding planning, things like that. I guess fiance is the word for it. They went insane, Ross. They went insane. That is what people do here. They're not all insane. Just a little bit. Just briefly insane. Also, welcome to the stream, Ross. So, today, like I said, the task of today is to flesh out the region of Donar San. And so for that, I have a document here with the notes I took last time. They have been insane for a while, but they can go more insane. You can go more insane than already insane. This region is going to be the main point of our story where everything seems to be happening. And I have my notes from last time, and I decided I wanted to add another 6 point of interest in here to just really flesh it out. And I have off to the side, I have a map kind of scenario here called Wonder Draft. That is a really cool mapping program that we're going to use. I'm going to use it to draw a map and kind of get a geographical idea of things as we're going along, because I think that would be really handy. The main point about this is it is not just an island. This isn't a world map, so it's really going to be entirely land, right? There's any water I'll add in later. I have my little pin that I had to charge last week. But let's just start by roughing that out because it's fun creatively, take some time, make my thing bigger. And I'm actually going to go change my thing here. What does this say? Here we go. Change my texture. Let's change it from paper to vintage. Nope, that's not good. To worn. Should we do worn? Worn looks a lot like the water. I could do these ones, Rala, ground, light, dark, and neutral. I think I'm going to go with the dark one, just for fun. Shoot. So this is like all going to be the ground, because it's just going to be connected. It's not an island. And then I'm going to draw some roads, I think, on here. Roads, pathways, maybe put up a hex grid. I think a hex grid would work for this because it is going to be quite large area that they will be. This is fun. It doesn't feel like art, but hey. But this will be a good baseline, at least, for planning things out. And I do want to have a, you know, maybe have a river or a stream kind of running through it. Something like that. The ground and the water is all very weird here. There we go. Now we're all land. We're all land. Okay. Should we lay some paths? I think let's lay a big old path right through. Nope. Don't like that. We're gonna overlay. We're gonna add the overlay. This program I'm using called Wonderdraft. It is a great program. You can change things. I don't want it to be too big, but if I say each of these hexes is like a mile, I think that gives you know a good idea of distance. Then I like to make the lines thinner or make them thicker. Let's go down to a two width line. You probably can't even see that on the stream. There we go. We'll go 3, 3, 3. There we go. Because that gives me what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 miles across by about 15 up. By 12 down. I think that's a good enough distance. And then I can treat the hexes as points of interest, right? For the main thing. We'll do a river. Let's see if I can make this big enough. I think a river kind of off to one of the sides would be really good. If this will do it. That is the wrong tool for this kind of region map. Crap. Everything's breaking. Everything's breaking. Oh no. This is terrible. I'm using this pin and I don't have the button set properly. So instead, I'm not going to use it. Personal information. Welcome back. Cancel that. Welcome back, my dude. We are doing some map stuff today. And some more adventure building. Alright. Got that back again. Alright. I'm just going to use the lower landmass tool. I think this might work. Let's try this out. If I lower my landmass to create a... That works. That's like a rough river right here. This program has some weird tools. This lower landmass isn't like an eraser. But it's like it tells the land to shrink and then it turns into water. But there's also one where I just erase the land. But this one gives you kind of rough edges. I'm thinking this river could be good as... Rice Combo had suggested a place where the blood of dead people could go into a stream or something and have that area kind of over here. And then I'm going to have a wall. I'll just use some symbols. Let's use some symbols here. So this program has a bunch of different symbols. One main thing I wanted to do, the entrance of this, I'm going to set it up kind of in this area, in this corner. And the entrance is actually going to be kind of a guard post, a guard tower kind of thing, is what I'm thinking. Where it will be an outpost that will serve some of the purpose. What happened so far? Oh, yes, you missed the big thing. I took out the entire first chapter of my adventure. I'm just going to get rid of it. and work that first chapter into the second chapter. So the players will still have the same information, but they'll be able to save some time getting into the game is the idea. So I'm going to put over here... No, I'm going to do a wall. I feel like there's an outpost or something as the entrance to this region. So it's not walled off. It's not super protective. This is like a geographical map, Rice Combo. That is why I'm doing the hexes and such. But I guess the guard tower was the only one that really showed up. So I'm just going to put it here in this corner. That's just going to be a symbol of that location. I'll make it bigger, because bigger is better. That's what they always say. Then that's going to essentially be the entrance, and I'll probably have a place there where the adventurers can talk to some people, get more info, have a fight with the Arctic rabbits, and then adventure out from there. I'm going to do the bloodbath. Blood is blood. Oh, blood's not a symbol, apparently. Maybe I could just do a splatter. Nope. This thing is just not cooperating. The music has gotten very loud. Turn that back down a little bit. Just remove the search and we'll just do this manually. What I'm thinking is, like I mentioned, this will be where like the dead bodies are found. So I'm thinking something kind of nondescript, or a skull, something that means death, just for my sake. Even though I really could just put anything here, I could just be like a number 2. But not finding much. Have the elven train yard, the trees, the orc house. Here we go. This totem looks good. We'll take this totem and it'll be on the edge of the river here. Right there. That'll mean death. How do you get your players to roleplay? Ooh. That's a really good question, personal information. It takes time, for one, usually. Are these like all new players, or I know you're pretty young. So are all the others also pretty young? Have they played the game before? What's the context here? Orc totem. I'm gonna write some notes here for myself. The entrance will be the guard tower at the top. Fairly new. A big thing I found, like, as weird as this is to say, like, one of the fun things about D&D in general is everyone plays differently, and there is no right and wrong way to play it. So I think it might not be about you getting your players to roleplay, but it might be about finding the nice middle ground balance. If it could be that they aren't role-playing because maybe they're nervous about it and they don't want to look silly, which for younger people, I know that's a thing. That's a thing for older people too. You know, older people, I got a guy in one of my groups, he doesn't want to look dumb ever. He gets really upset if he looks silly because it's embarrassing or something. I don't know. So for him, to get him to roleplay is very difficult. Other younger kids, they might not just do that, and it might not be about making voices and stuff, but even just thinking like the character, they might not get into that much, and they might just look at the game as a game. So, you know, if they tend to get into the combat scenarios and get really tactical with moving around and hitting things, That might just be that they like combat a lot more than the actual role play, which characters do that. And it's about finding kind of a middle ground balance. There is some things you can try to use their love of the game, in terms of their love of thinking tactically and winning, to encourage them to role play. Like, one of the first things I did when I was playing originally was my DM said if the better you describe, or if you describe your action with detail, like a cinematic action, then you would get a bonus on your roll to attack or damage, either one. And he would give a 1 or 2 bonus to our rolls if we, got in detail. Rather than just saying, oh, I attacked this thing, if we would describe it as jump up and, I'm going to do a flying spin kick and hit him across the jaw and break his jaw, that would give us like a +2 bonus to our roll, which worked at that point in time when we weren't so big on role-playing. And yeah, Rice Combo has another good point there. They will follow suit generally with how they do things. But I've always found the trick of offering something to the players in return for role play is usually a pretty good way to do it. So. Yeah, but I think you just working on that, it'll do it. That's something I do need to make a video on, but I feel like I've gotten pretty lucky with my players, have been relatively flexible and open to role playing. So, yes, let me know if you need other ideas, though. We can come up with some. Yeah, just time. Just time fixes things. When I started in 5th edition, like my first game, the group I was playing in, and I still play with these guys, was a whole bunch of actors and actresses. And I'm there. I can talk on camera doing this thing, but I can't get up there and perform that much unless I have like a script. But they were like really into it. Everyone was doing voices. Everyone was doing all this stuff, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a weird guy. But then I got into it and started getting into more of the role-playing, but I made it about, my actions, not so much my accent. And, we're still playing. It's been about 3.5 years with that campaign, so that's good. Yeah. Okay, moving on. So I got the guard tower, I got the orc totem, the claim... Oh, I need to have the pit, the hole into the underdark. I'm going to use... That's a tent. Let me look for some cave. A dark cave. Come on, symbols. Man, I support this thing. I just need to come in here and make my own symbols. But I don't do art very good. Nothing. Nothing at all. I need to find a hole in the ground for like a here there be monsters kind of hole. I'll just use this symbol. Or will I? There, this will work. This is like a mine here. I'm going to make this mine kind of dead center. I'm going to make it bigger. That's as big as it gets. Boom. That'll be the mine. That's kind of be the... Yeah, the mine shaft here. Hole in the middle. This way... So you see, I'm kind of doing like a region map. I'm not doing it like a combat map. It's just the spacing around, and I'm really just worried about the locations of things. Let me throw up some tints. That weird sound was the app actually saving. It does that. Like here, I got a little yurt. I love these things. That's as big as it goes. And so if I have other places like here, that will be a yurt. That can be a point of interest. Someone can get to. I can do a different one. This one's tiny. Why are you so little? And then I can build some roads or paths that go around through here. Or trails, I would say. Might be better, but I want to get some points. So I'm going to do the abandoned claim is going to be the small tent. I might have to number these. I might have to number them now. That is why I have labels. Alright, so this is going to be number 1. That is so tiny. Font size, let's go like 50. That's too small. And why does the 1 look like an R? Ugh. Gross. Make it big. 1. There we go. I have it now visible a little bit. Alright, that'll be 1. This will be, which I'm going to have to change actually over here. This should be number 1. I got everything mixed up here. The bloodbath. Did I list that? Oh, I did. This is going to be number 2. 2. I'm going to label this one number 8, which means I'm just going to change this. I'm going to change this one. I'm going to name it number 3. And then I'll have to rearrange everything later on. I think that's what I have to do. 1, 2, 3, or 3, 8, 2, done. The Brewbuck claim. I actually like, oh, I can't do that. I want this to be it. I think this would work. It'd just be like a nondescript kind of spot. It just won't be anything special until the party gets to it. And then this, number 6, will be right down here. And number 6 will be where the child is. Ooh, I should have eaten lunch. My stomach is growling. And I have people using power tools outside my window all at the same time. So this will be like where the child is. I think that'd be funny. We need another claim that's under attack. And an area where the... Or like, yeah, a claim that's under attack. Let's go back to our symbols. Oh, duh, I totally forgot I have mountains and trees as well. Let's look at other little tents and shacks and things. There we go, a market stall I can use. And I'm going to put this over here, and this is going to be the abandoned one where, like, they were attacked. Maybe there's some zombies. Oh no, this is going to be the lone prospector defending his claim is going to be right down here if they get there. And I may shrink this up to make it a lot tighter, but for now I'm just going to leave it as pretty spread out. And probably replace a lot of these with just dots. So if 2 is a bloodbath, I'm going to actually make the scene of the... It'll be like in this area. Well, they'll hit the river and then they go up and they find the bloodbath of everyone dead and killed. So I got 6. Or no, I got 5. I got 6. We'll need a spot where the parents are fighting the zombies. Because I do want to give the party a chance to save the parents of the young child that is there. Ooh, a bridge. I like that idea. Let's put a bridge over that. Some dark stuff. What is this one? A wicked well. Oh, there's a skull. Oh, well. Well, actually, we'll just use the skull. So if this is like where the kid is, and then you have to go find the parents that run off the zombies. Oh, maybe that leads you to the bloodbath. That'll change that. Yeah, that'll work. So this is not going to be there. That's a totally different event that we're going to put in. That just makes more sense. A mill. I like to have one that's close by to the front there. This could be the 2, 3 is the guard tower. 4 is just an abandoned one. That's just kind of an abandoned mine or abandoned claim. That can work. 4, 5, 6. I got rid of 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I got all the ones that I have pre-written listed up here. Now I'm just going to throw some other markers down. We're going to come up with what they are. That's the main task of today. I'm going to use this big X. Oh. There's a very little X. These are very little markers. Not a fan. I might need to just change the scale of my map later. I'm going to just dot these around a bit. I'm going to put one right near the claim. That'll be like a place where someone's like watching. On the edge, and I'll put one on the other side of the river. How many is that? So I have 7 right now. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I want one more. I wanted to have 15 spots. I'm looking for a place. I think one down here is good. And then I'm going to just label these, and we're just going to flesh this thing out. On this 7. This one will be 9. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but this is how I've done it with villages and stuff, or, you know, similar way, but I'm trying to keep it a little more organized as I'm building here. 12. Did I miss one? Yep. 15. All right. So, next, I should renumber these. It's probably a good idea. So 1, whoops. I'm going to move 1 over here. 3 over here. Like I said, 1 is going to go over here. Then, as they encounter things, things will change. So I guess I'm just starting over from scratch here. 3 will be this one. This number 7 will go probably over here. 4. I want the main place is going to be going underground, right? So I'm also going to make 14. This spot ideally would be right before there, or here. I can do it here. 7 can be the middle space. 8 can be down 5, 6. 8 can be over here. I know this isn't making any sense. Eight. Whoops. Am I just nitpicking? Yes. Yes, I am. That's good enough. Done with that. Done with that nitpicking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points of interest. Number 1 is going to be the guard tower. I'm just going to be copying and pasting some stuff. Number 2 is going to be a kind of an abandoned spot. Number 3, I will have to figure out. 4, I'll figure out. 5 is going to be number 10. Oh, crap. Oh, those construction workers driving me crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Three, 4, 5 is up there where it's not being used. 6 is the small tent abandoned claim. 7 is going to be in the middle there. 8 is unfigured out. 9 is also not figured out yet. I just need to leave a little bit at each one of these so I keep my counting. 10 is the Orc Totem Bloodbath. 11 is the claim that's under attack. 12 is not figured out. 13 is not figured out. 14 is Brewbuck's claim. And 15 is the pathway down. Yes. Oh. I got an email I'm going to read later. It says, how to go from dream to reality in D&D writing from the Arcane Library. One of the writers that I admire her work. She does some good stuff. She's come up with designs for her stories that are just, like, brilliant for Dungeon Masters to, like, get prepped. So I'm, like, she's got some cool stuff. So I subscribed to her website. Let's figure some things out. So the party comes into the guard tower area. At the beginning, they will enter Donar Son, right? This is the entrance where they'll first probably get met with, I want to say they'll meet a couple people, and then they'll have to fight some rabbits. My thought is, here's they could meet Ednus. Meets Ednus, Gold Grip here. She might be there trying to get the guards to help her find her uncle, Brewbuck. She could also be there. You know what? No, I'm going to save that for later. I'm going to save her for later because I want the party to be thinking that it's a Arcane Library is a author on DM's Guild and her own website, personal information. She writes adventures and she does them in a way that makes them very easy to pick up and run. So one that's free that's on DM's Guild is called Secret of Skyhorn Lighthouse, and it's really, really good. And it's designed, you could like pick it up and read it in like 20 minutes and just play it. It's really, really well designed adventures. Party meets some guards, but they are understaffed. They don't have the manpower. I guess. We should touch on some other topics here. Adventure hooks. This adventure, since it's a one-shot, I didn't want to dive into hooks, but I think the main one is going to be they were hired. The rumors and superstitions surrounding the mine. Area. Ghosts, undead, etc. Maybe the other reason, if we come up with just 3 quick hooks of why they could go in there. The other reason is they're... Let's just start with that one. It might be railroady. It might be really railroading if I just give them like one and it's like, this is it. But I'm also trying to think of ways to let them go from place to place. And if we start them with one, they can pick up other little side missions inside the area. They don't have the manpower. The guards. So back to the guard tower. They don't have the manpower to go in and investigate it. They have to stay at the guard station. And the people inside the zone are kind of left to their own devices. And the guards have seen some things. With that can just, like, encourage the party to be like, oh yeah, it's dangerous in there. Maybe it's not enough. And then the party can go from there. They could be like, oh, it's dangerous, we gotta get in there. I'm going to zoom in on this again. But then, party gets attacked. And that could be kind of a comical thing. If the guards, like, if there's rabbits coming up to the guard station and the guards see them and get, like, chicken out, then maybe that could be, like, a funny moment where the party's like, oh, it's not that bad, but then... oh, it's a zombie rabbit. I'll have to have plenty of random encounters designed for this area to come up with. But also, yes, the Zombunnies. So also, though, after the Zombunnies, this is when we can kind of see that there's more trouble, and then we have a prospector arrives on their way out, that they've run away from their camp. They don't have anything, but they're just like, they like want to get out of there, right? So they're leaving. Where? Oh. Head south. South, follow the creek. Should we put a creek in here? Their claim lies directly south So then they get to number 2. There's nothing there. They're confused, but the shambling footprints have headed east and further south. Perhaps the shambles came from one direction and they went the other 2 directions. There are tracks heading away from the claim. South and east. What else can they find here? Let's see. We were saying these undeads might be elves. They might, imply some of that. What if here we can start seeding that information? Like, oh, there's some arrows here on the ground. Or if they investigate, they can find some elven weaponry. I like arrows. Into the prospector's gear. That could just paint a funny picture. Like, they have the gear, but then it's like littered with arrows and they're like equipment. So that's like, hey, is it an elf? So then heading south and east are the 2 spots that I don't have something figured out for. I think if they head south... No, let's go to number 3. Number 3 is that if they head east, they'll reach a... No, this is where we're going to get the sad part. We're going to take the abandoned child. With a child hiding in the box that has said her parents were there, but the zombies, they got attacked by some mean men. How old is this child? Skeletons. And her parents went to lead them away, storing her in the box. They have not returned, and it's been, how long has it been? 1 day? Yeah, like 12. Something where she's smart enough to know, like, to listen and not be stupid. But also young enough that, like, her parents would not expect her to get in the middle of the fight. The tracks continue east. Until they disappear. Until they hit a, what is it? A creek. We'll just run some creeks around here. We'll just put some more waterways kind of combining. A stream. Then they stop. Okay, going down to number 4. So it's like the zombies split, right? So you got one is up here, one's down, going down the other way, maybe. Or maybe the zombie went the one way, the skeletons went the other way and got to the girl's family. So right there, that is the adventure here, is find her parents. Side quest, boom. I need to look at my other challenge paper. I want to look at the others. That's the wrong one. Did I do it on creatures? Nope. Did I do it on the outline? Oh, I have my goals right here. My other side quest ideas. Oh, this is it. The prospector left, but they left something behind, right? If we just rewind a moment. March. We're good. Okay, so directly south of the guards, they left a valuable the rush. Willing to pay for it. Then they go down. There are no zombies there because they've already gone, but they can find the heirloom. Or can they not find it? If they head east, they can find the child trapped in a box. If they head south, what do they find? What is south? I feel like the further south you go, the more dangerous it should be. The further away from the guards, it just gets more dangerous and more dangerous. Zombies. What do zombies want? What does our villain want? He wants people gone. He wants people to leave so so he can have everything, right? That's his kind of motivation, I think. I have to flesh that out. Probably do that Wednesday. But he wants people out of here, so he could Ooh, my stomach is loud. I apologize for that. He kind of wants people to leave him alone because he does want the riches and he's kind of corrupted by the lich that's been in the area. So I guess the question is, what does the lich need? Do we make this a bigger thing? Do we make this something much larger and like have the lay of the land be important for some reason, or maybe the different claims are something? No, I'm going to keep it simple. It's a first level adventure. I'm not going to involve the lay of the land in the Lich's plan yet. I don't want to... We'll come back to it. So there's the Brewbuck claim. Number 14, we're just going to jump to. His friends are mining, waiting for him to return. He thought Brewbuck went back to town when he had gone west. And I might have to just like reposition things, right? It might be better if I move this further down and then... Maybe the party can find him. Maybe. Also, at the Brewbuck claim, I think this is when Edness would be there. And this would be, they're like, oh, he never came back to town. That's why I'm here. What is Brewbuck's partners called? We're going to call him Chap Brago. Oh, I know that, Ross. Yeah, it's not big for now, but the whole idea, this is just a one-shot for low-level characters. And then if I succeed and get this published, that's the big thing. If I succeed, eventually I could tie it into a chain of adventures for players to run over a campaign. But baby steps. I got to do a one-shot. I got to earn the one-shot. That's the idea here. Stop texting me, people. Don't people know I'm streaming? Chap Vrago is his buddy, his mining prospecting partner. Friend. Chap Brago. Largely untouched though, right? Because the zombies, like, this is his buddy's site, this is his site. He doesn't want the zombies and the skeletons to be going there. So this is like the calm. It's the calm in the middle of the bad. The hole in the middle of the map is the mine shaft itself. And this is where it is deep. They find it. It's probably been hidden by something, but they're able to head down, and this leads into the dungeon crawl. So that's good. Number 11, I think, works as the claim is under attack, and there's just the lone prospector there fending off several zombies. The party could arrive on time. I think this could be like a choice where they have to act. They could act to save him, or they could wait and let the zombie just eat him. This zombie will be wearing some old... One of the zombies, at least, wears some old, ancient, elven armor. Old. I'll just put old. Oh, that sort of thing. There's elvish writing. Riding around the entrance. That like everything's gonna be like elvish. I'm basically treating this whole thing like it is an elven necromancer lich, elven necromancer doing the work, but really it's a Duergar. Okay. Find her parents. Okay. They're gonna, if they want to find the parents, they're gonna follow them. They're gonna track it. The stream could take them one way, or they could say they might want to cross the stream. But I think it would be good to have some stream, like, I'm thinking just like right through here is something that comes down, and it can connect over here. Let me just double up this line. Boom, now we got a stream, or like a creek. On the other side, they can see another camp that... What if this other side is, So number 5, what if it's like, it's more of like a funny thing. It's a camp, a claim, overrun with zombie hares, bunnies, right? And the party, like, they can sneak up and then see a bunch, and they could either be like, oh no, If they approach it, if they actually get in and fight, maybe they earn something. But it will be like a hard-won battle. The rabbits. What can they get from here? There should be some information or a special thing. Something special. Let's give them something. A little magic item, perhaps. Maybe that's why the rabbits are there. Oh, now I'm just going down a rabbit hole, no pun intended, in my mind. So what if this one was done by like somebody who's kind of a druid type person, right? And he actually was able to kind of tame these bunnies. So maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, maybe he got killed by them, but they were all attracted to his area for some reason. Maybe he's got food, maybe he put a spell on them. But then the party can find some magic item that will help them in the battle. What is that magic item? I don't know yet. I think I might have to homebrew like a something. Maybe. Alright. I'm still stuck on number 4. I'm stuck on the ones I haven't thought about before because I'm like, I haven't thought about them. The stream could lead... Here's the question. I have this orc totem down at the bottom, number 10 here, right? This bad boy. And I have it as the bloodbath. Is this tragic? Are there the parents of the child in this bloodbath? Or are they not? Because the way I have it set up, accidentally, a Wand of Turn Undead could work. But of my pre-made characters, I actually have a Life Cleric in my pre-mades. But that is an option. That is an option. Also, welcome to the stream. So, oh man. This is tough. How tragic do I want this to be? Do I want the adventurers to get to the bloodbath and find potentially the parents of this child who have run to the east? They headed east from their own camp. They've hit the stream. They followed the stream down past the other claim here, number 14. They hit the bigger stream, river, and they follow that down where they get caught up and they die. I think that's a possibility. I think that could work. I waited for the music to the beat to drop to say that. That'd be so sad. That would be so sad. But it's a one-shot. And as they're walking, like as it's described, you approach the river and there you find blood trickling down into the water, doing its thing. So then one parent isn't even a real parent, is what you're saying. Or they weren't at some point. I haven't really used doppelgangers because they're not undead, and I don't think they belong in the... I gotta see if they're in the basic rules. That is my rule about this, is any creatures are either ones I make, or they're from the basic rules of the published basic rules. It's very likely that doppelganger is there. Source. Basic rules. Okay. So that's possible, but let's see here. Oh. Okay, no, actually. He is way too strong. If they had to fight it, it would be way too powerful. And my boss is going to be the villain of this. The guy I created. So, unfortunately, No doppelgangers allowed on this one. But it is an Underdark character, so that's good to know. Maybe in the future expansion on this adventure, the doppelganger could come into play. Let's see, what else we got? Okay. Number 4. Number 7. 6. So much to fill in. So much to fill in. If there's some footprints heading south from an area. Oh, I know what it is. Do I? It's not an actual claim, but maybe that's where they can catch up with the zombies. The undead. Dragging a body. A captive? Should it be captive? Yes. Dragging a corpse away. Corpse down the road, down the path. The idea being it's an heirloom here also, but maybe there's somebody who was at camp number 2 and they got taken. And then this gives the heroes a chance to save them before they get turned into their own zombie or skeleton. Oh, that's the sad part. I figured out the sad part. Dead prospectors. Here's the sadder part. There won't be any dead bodies. Lots of blood. And viscera. Viscera? But no corpses. You know why? Because they've been raised. And they're now undead. The blood leads to a couple of new zombies. The girl's parents. Is that tragic enough? I'm having a really hard time with this, with these other ones, but I feel like I can't just leave it too simple. I have to add some other things. Prove a claim. They have the mine shaft. They have the one who's under attack over here. You got so much else that could be going on. What do miners do? Prospectors. They mine, they prospect, they... Four can be the crazy one. The one who's been out so long that he loses track of like how to deal with people. He hid from the zombies. No, what it is the, That is actually really sad, Ross. That's really sad. But it's also very possible because the whole concept is what happens is one of the prospectors went into this abandoned shaft, the abandoned mine shaft, went into the Underdark where he found more mithril ore, which is what they're here looking for, but he also found a gem that turns out to be a phylactery of a lich that has corrupted him. it gave him ability to cast some spells, so he's able to raise the dead and do some magic, but it also like has turned him basically evil. That's kind of the idea right now. So no cultists. It's really just one guy, but no one knows it's him. Everything will point to, elves or an elven necromancer doing all the trouble, and then they discover, oh, it's this guy actually. It's the prospector that people have been looking for. That's kind of the story so far. But I'm trying to add in some side quests here. Bag of provisions. Children's parents, they can hear about mithril ore that's left behind. That could also have been the valuable heirloom instead. What if they find somebody just like hiding? So it's not like the crazy one. This will be number 13. Will be the crazy one. He's angry. Oh yeah, I know. This is very early in the writing process, my friend. Number 4 is going to be the... What do they call the kid? The young blood? The hot-headed person who's way out of its league, kind of coming out here. The young... The underprepared... who is actually hiding, or who was... What were they doing there? Hiding. That could be actually the head of the mouth of the mine. Or number 7. Chichaco. What's Chichaco? Is that an Alaska term that I forgot? That is an Alaska term I forgot. Yeah, they're like the young guy that just went out, and then they find themselves completely in over their head. But there's also the question of where are these zombies coming from? I do like the idea of an elvish shrine, or an elvish place. I wish I could have planned accordingly to the construction workers out my window. I know. I find it amazing when I remember to call the lower 48 the outside. I've now lived in Los Angeles longer than I lived in Alaska, which I'm sure you are in the same position in Utah. I'm fine. I don't need my sourdough status. Not a fan of the bread anyways. It's alright. Oh, now I got stuff stuck in my throat. I'm getting the coronavirus on camera. He hides near an elvish shrine, but he saw the things going further down, So, like, they can track these zombies all the way down to 11, which is where the claim is kind of under attack. This would be someone who just saw them and is like, maybe he, like, I don't know. Maybe he wants to go along. Maybe he's just like, I need to get out of here. As I come up with more NPCs, I have to also come up with what they want and what they... Oh, you were born and raised up there. That's right. So you were up there for like 20-something years, and I was up there for 10 years. Only 10. And now I've been in LA for like going on 12, almost 13 years now. In Los Angeles. That's how long it's been. It's crazy. It's coming on my 20-year high school reunion year. I just realized that. Maybe I'll try to go back if they do something. The last time they had a high school reunion, Ross, last time they had a high school reunion for my class, they told everyone the day before it was happening on Facebook. So I got an invite from somebody up there, and they were like, high school class of 2003, high school reunion. And it was like the next day. And then I was like, well, no, I'm not going to make it to that. So it just goes to show, you know, good planning, well in advance, gets people up there, apparently. All right, what else do we got to go on here? 13 is going to be like the crazy one, the hermit, so to speak. The hermit is out there, and he's going to want something. I really just want to fill in. I like the Elvish Shrine idea over at number 4. That could just be... there were like 3 people from my year went, actually, to the high school reunion there, but they were the people who live in Homer still. So then something has to lead the people, the party, to look in a certain location. Right? Something has to lead them away, I guess. A farm? This isn't really a farming area. This is a mining town. So these guys are really... there's a lot of backstory you missed on this one. The idea is this region is new to... like it's newly discovered, and a lot of the mithril ore breaches the surface here. So prospectors have come out, and they claim areas where they're going to look for mithril. So this area, it's not like a mining community so much, but it's kind of like a... They have another town. The last bit of civilization is about 10 miles away, and so if they need things, they usually just go back and get stuff. But for the main part, they stay out, kind of camping out, hunting in the area, doing that kind of thing. But then the reason the adventurers are here is people are leaving, which means the officials who kind of manage this area are losing money, and so it's like a whole thing where they're like, everyone out here is now superstitious because they're getting attacked by zombies and skeletons. But I like where your head is at. There could be a tavern. Taverns are always fun. Let's put a tavern in here. It'll just be like a really podunk tavern. Podunk tavern. Gets no business because everyone's scared. And it did underground in like I have an underdark kind of dungeon where the mithril would be a little more corrupted, and messed up. And the idea there is once they destroy the phylactery that the miner is holding and using to cast his spells, then the dungeon in the Underdark would actually begin to collapse and they would have to escape. And then that leads to either they get trapped in there or they survive and run away. But a corrupted mithril above the ground could also work for number 8. A corrupt vein of ore, right? Is spreading the corruption, for lack of a better word, to the trees. The plants and creatures, kind of like dark crystal. But how do they fix that? Oh, there's the old hermit that's been out there before this happened. He might know something. Or maybe there's the magic item from camp number 5 that can purify things. Maybe. Seven is actually kind of a weird spot that I had thought of. It's just like it's someone who knows that there's an area. So the mine shaft is supposed to be hidden. But if there's a lot of activity in an area where something's kind of hidden, someone's going to notice. And then probably want to take a look. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'm going to just note that down here. Con save on fruit if eaten. They could have some hallucinogenic properties. And they need which could also mean the adventurers if the tavern needs supplies, the adventurers could get some supplies early on. They could show up and be like, "Oh yeah, we have to deliver these supplies to X tavern somewhere." That could just be like a little side thing. It's like, "Oh, we have these. We need to take them in there." Edness, the niece of the corrupt prospector, is going to be all over this place. She's going to be near the entrance. She's going to be at the guy's claim. 7 is going to be a hidden camp. The prospector started seeing a lot of weird movement. Yeah, that could be the case. I am not a fan of that particular way of finding things in this kind of thing. Just because it's like Lost Mine of Phandelver does it. There's like so many other things do that same. Find boxes, deliver them here. I would rather give them something where they know what they're doing, but then they have trouble accomplishing that task. That's just me for now. Just because I played through Phandelver too many times. But that's just my opinion on that. And Everyone should play to their strengths. Oh, this music has been up and down, loud and quiet the whole time. Corrupt ore, or corrupt vein of ore. I like that. So I got what? I have number 9 and number 12 are the ones I need to figure out. They're like the ones that are in such weird locations too. Strange places. 12 could be another guard. 12 could be another, like the other side, the other guard tower. On like the exit. So there's like one up here by 1. And then there could be another exit down here by 12. And then I gotta come up with something to happen there. Then, number 9. This is hurting my brain now. What am I missing? But that could be the thing, though. So, if they don't have the boxes originally, number 6, when they go to the tavern, they could be like, oh, we were supposed to get some stuff from the guard tower to the south, and then the party could go there and have some reason, something in the way of getting their stuff. Which could also mean that it's another guard post, but is not guarded by alive people. So this could be a guard tower that's already been like overrun by the zombies and skeletons and stuff. And they're staying there as kind of to keep people from coming in from that side, from the south. Thus protecting the central area. Not guarded the living. By the living. There we go. So now number 9. The last linchpin. I want the guards to be dead. I do agree. They could have some zombies like saved. That would make sense. But if I have the zombies alive, it could mean a little stealth mission for the party, right? So if there's so many zombies or skeletons there that the party is look at it and like we can't just fight all those, that would be kind of crazy. They might instead have to do a stealth mission to get the items, or they might say, screw it, we don't need the stuff. There's a lot we can give them that decision. So gee whiz, my spelling is terrible, at the claim. Oh. It is the calm in the middle of the bed. It's something I gotta sit on. In all honesty, my brain right now it's kind of tired. So I think we're gonna come up with number 9, recap it, give me some homework, and call it a stream. So then I can think about this stuff. Like, I can go do some errands and stuff, but I can think about it and recharge my creative battery, so to speak. And then find details. And then Wednesday, those details would be discussed in depth. Number 9. On the outskirts of a prospecting area. Yes! Yeah, hot spring. They could have hot spring anime party. But what if zombies got into the hot spring? It would basically make it a soup. What's special about the hot spring? Healing waters flow and can heal the corruption. In the forest. Bum bum bum. Actually, I think that's a good way to do that one. It's like, oh, the forest is corrupted over here at number 8, but you can heal it with some water from number 9 a little ways away. I also think, looking at this now, my overlay is way too small. I think I need to have it a little more like, if each of these hexes is like a mile, I think that kind of layout would be a lot better. So it's like, oh, a mile away is number 3, a mile away, 2 miles away, a mile. Yeah, that makes more sense, and it keeps it a lot tighter. Let's create a scale. Segments, we're going to create 5 segments. I forgot how to do this. Unit labeled 1 mile. Create. Nope, that's wrong. Yeah, exactly. That is wrong. Not gonna... clear that. This one, I'm gonna just delete that. I'll deal with the scale later. But yeah, the hermit... Okay, so let's go over everything here, because I think you're onto something there. I like that idea. That was good. So, they're hired to go investigate this area about the rumors and the superstition surrounding Donarson, the new mining region that is just discovered on the far side of a icy mountain. Kind of a oasis in the cold. You have the guard tower, where they enter in. It's relatively calm here, not too bad, not too dangerous. But there they meet a prospector who's fleeing from one area and claims that he left something behind, heading from the south. And the guards don't have the people to go deal with things like this. There's also Edna Goldgrip, the niece of the prospector in question, is here looking for her uncle. That is where we see the idea that, like, though this guy is really missing, and she needs to find him, and offers probably a decent reward. If they head south, they'll find the campment at number 2, where there are no zombies, but there are tracks leading east and further south. Where if they head east, they can find the abandoned claim with a 12-year-old child hiding in a box, and they got attacked by some skeletons, and her parents led them away and told her to stay in the box. But it's been a day already, and they have not returned. Or it's been several hours, we'll say. Several hours. If the party continues east following the tracks, they'll reach a stream where they won't be able to see the tracks anymore. But if they cross the stream, they'll run into number 5, which is another claim that's kind of overrun by zombunnies. And this is where they can find a magic item if they choose to kill all the zombunnies and run off. At number 4, there'll be an underprepared adventurer who's out here by himself, who's not doing so well. This could be as much as just finding his dead body, actually. It could be just a very small thing of, like, he clearly got overrun by the zombies. Or, yeah, he's the one that's so sad that they leave him behind because he's so weak. They don't even want him to be a skeleton. Continuing down there, you run into the Podunk Tavern that is not getting any business because everyone's so scared. Excuse me. Number 7 has a camp that is hidden, but it looks out over where the mine shaft would be. Where this is where the players could actually just like, oh, a mine shaft, let's go in there. But we don't know if that will be the case. Number 14, or no, we'll jump 7 to 8, is the corrupted vein of ore, where it is close enough to the mine shaft that it could make sense that this is like the area where the necromancer was most powerful underneath. And it's been corrupting the plants and the wildlife in the area. There is a hot spring over at number 9 that can heal those plants and the corruption. But first they have to find out that the hot spring exists. That could be, if I keep him alive, he could be kind of like an NPC sidekick for him. He could also be looking for Brewbuck for something to just reinforce it. If they reach number 10, if they follow the the creek down from the north to the south, they'll find the bloodbath where there'll be tons of blood but no corpses, which will not far away. They'll be able to find the new zombies along with some old ones of the parents of the child. Not a happy ending for her. Over at number 11, the zombies that were heading south from number 2 would end up there fighting a lone prospector defending his land from the zombies. He could be overrun potentially if the parties don't save him in time or react fast enough. Zombies were wearing some old elven armor as well. At number 12 is the old guard post that it does not have real guards or just has a lot of zombie action already going on where it's a very dangerous place. But that's also where there's some provisions for the tavern. Number 13 is the hermit, who's been out kind of safe on the other side of the river because the zombies don't really cross the water. Maybe that's a thing. So he knows about the spring, the hot spring, because he's been out there so long, that he might know that might be able to heal the water, the thing. Also, the hot spring could be considered holy water, which could be used against zombies later on. Number 14 is the Brewbuck claim, where his friend Chap Brago is there, along with his niece Edness, who would have traveled over there to speak and find her uncle. Learning that he didn't actually go back to town, he is indeed missing somehow, but he had gone west, which I'm going to move number 14, so it's a little more directly west of number 15. Then, of course, going through number 7, learning that there's something there a little further south of it, and the clues from the Brewbuck claim from good old Chap, they could find the mine shaft, the elven mine shaft leading down into the Underdark, which could then lead them to their final dungeon crawl, a simple 3-room dungeon that we made the other day, leading to the final battle with Brewbuck Goldgrip, the Duergar prospector who is corrupted by a phylactery. If they kill the phylactery or destroy the phylactery, they'll have to escape the collapsing dungeon. If they kill Brewbuck, the collapsing dungeon escape would be much more difficult. Or, what if they get the phylactery? What happens next? Dun dun dun, development stuff to write up. That is where we're at now, okay? That is a pretty decent amount of crap to come up with in one day, or in 2 hours, I would say. So we're going to give myself some homework. I need to get a playtest scheduled. I have to do one, ideally this week, so I can test this out to see if it's too much. Get a playtest scheduled, and then now I really do have to flesh out details of all the areas, zones, and list NPCs needed. That way, when we're back here on Wednesday, we can work at creating NPCs that are compelling with, needs and wants and things like that. That will be Wednesday, listing the NPCs needed. And I should also start the actual writing process with the flowery words and that sort of detail. The writing of the adventure, which I did kind of touch on. I did start on it a little bit, but now I have to buckle down, because if I want to get 3,500 words into book form, I'm going to need probably a week to get it formatted after I get it written, so I have about 2 weeks to write this all out. And that's not counting making the maps. Yikes. All right. So, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your suggestions. MKSMOK3. I believe your name is Chris. I forgot. I apologize if that is not your name. But thank you for watching. Thanks for your suggestions, everybody. We will see you again on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday.